Good morning. Testing, 1, 2. We're good. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming out today. I am Tuckahoe Mayor Steve Eklund, and I'm joined today with Trustee Greg Luisi on the village board, and we have our county legislator Sheila Marcotte is here, and she's always instrumental in getting this all put together each year. I want to thank you for that. We also have a very important guy over here, Mr. DeMarco. Frank DeMarco, he's our superintendent of public works, and he's the guy who keeps us a tree city. The village of Tuckahoe is a tree city for 17 years now, so can everybody say thank you to Frank? Thank you! And I want to thank your teachers, Miss Patnella and Miss Basile, for bringing you down here again today. And today's a very important day. Can anybody tell me what today is?
Arbor Day.
It's Arbor Day, and what's important about Arbor Day?
You have to save the trees.
That's very correct. And do you want to tell me something about Arbor Day too?
No, it's okay.
Okay, all right. Well, can anybody tell me who is the founder of Arbor Day? Anybody know that gentleman's name?
I think
You're getting there,
Sterling Martin.
That's correct, Mr. Martin. He is the founder of Arbor Day, and it's because of him that we're all here today. We would not be here if it wasn't for him. So we want to thank you very much. And I'd like to ask you guys a couple of questions. Can you tell me the importance of Arbor Day, we know, is to promote and recognize trees in our community. So can anybody tell me why it's important that we take care of our trees and that we recognize them? Boy, a lot of hands are coming up now.
So then the earth is clean and better and good.
That's true.
Because trees give us oxygen to breathe in, to breathe out and in.
That's excellent.
Some trees give us fruit.
They give us fruit and they give us beautiful flowers too. And what else? Every year I ask this question, and my favorite has to do with one of my favorite sports that trees give us. Think about that. Think of a really good sport. Opening day occurred last month. What do they make out of trees? Somebody knows that one.
Swing sets.
Well, swing sets, but for me it's a baseball bat. So there's quite a few over here. We're going to get some. So I'd also like to ask, what are other things that we make out of wood?
Paper.
Paper, that's correct. Let me walk over here.
Chairs.
Chairs, furniture, that's absolutely correct.
Houses.
Houses, very, very important. We need these beautiful trees. We actually do have to cut them down so we can make our nice warm homes and nice warm places for us to live.
Firewood.
Firewood, absolutely. You ever go camping and you have a nice firewood? You don't cut down the live trees, you actually cut up some of the old dead trees that are laying down, but that's very, very important.
What about wallpaper?
Well, there probably is some wallpaper that they do actually make out of paper fiber. You're right, because it's paper, so you're absolutely right, as a matter of fact.
They make baseball bats.
Baseball bats, that's my favorite, the Louisville Sluggers. So those are quite a few items that we make out of wood. And in Tuckahoe here, we're very, very honored that we are considered what's called a tree city. And that's a very important designation that we have. And it's because of our Department of Public Works chief and all of his staff. They actually help us keep that title. And it's very, very important that we remain a tree city. So, and it's important that you guys help us. And you can help us by, you pick up litter if you see litter around any trees, or if you see a damaged tree, you could let your parents know so we could go ahead and let Frank know and he'll take care of it. So I want to thank you all so much for coming down today. And yes?
Nothing. I just wanted to show Joseph something.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys, it's very important today. We have a special tree that is your tree. It's the tree for 2011, and everybody's going to get a chance to go ahead and water that tree. Can you all help us do that today?
Yeah!
Okay, what's your question?
How much watering cans do you have?
We have enough for everybody. How's that sound?
300?
I don't know about 300. I don't think we have 300 today, but we have enough. You guys are going to share. It's very important that you share. So,
want to add one thing. Can
Yes.
I jump in? Do you guys mind? One of the important things about Arbor Day, I know it's about saving the trees, but when it was first founded in 1872, it was about planting trees. And I want to just point out, if you guys turn around and you see this row of trees, right, starting at the Kwanzaa that we're about to dedicate and all the way up the hill, those were all planted and dedicated by many of your schoolmates up at ICS, and Steve and I have been doing this for the past 10 years. So unfortunately, we're running out of room at this location because we started at the top, and every year we came down a little further. So maybe next year we'll find a new location, or maybe we'll do it on the grounds of ICS.
we could very well do that.
But when Julius Sterling Morton, I always mix that up, when he was in Nebraska, and the land in Nebraska, there was no trees. He had a farm. Can you imagine? If you look around, you look at all these trees, can you imagine seeing no trees? There were no trees, there was no shade, there was nothing. So that's how the concept, the idea was started. It began with a man looking around and saying, we need more trees. And a year later, the state of Nebraska planted over 1 million trees, and it's been a national holiday ever since. So I just wanted to show you these trees because your school has been a very important role in this piece of land, which is our World War I monument, and you have helped us to beautify it. So we're very happy about that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. So as you drive by here, when you're going to school, you'll always be looking at this tree, and you'll know that this is your tree. So take ownership and be happy that you're going to water it today and get this tree started. So who would like to help water that tree? Okay. All right. How are you? Good. It's always such a nice event. Yes. Actually, and guys, we're going to go ahead and our trustee here is going to go ahead and quiz you here.
One trivia question. This is the bonus question of the day.
What do you get?
Does anyone know the state tree of the state of New York?
Actually, I don't know. No.
Christmas tree?
Christmas tree? No, not the Christmas tree.
An oak tree?
No.
No. I'll give you a...
Maple?
Wait, we have somebody in the back that might know that.
Pine tree?
Pine tree? No.
I said maple. I got it. I know.
He's got.
What kind of maple?
I don't know.
You're sweet.
What do you...
Sweet maple? Maple syrup tree? Maple syrup tree? Peanut tree? No, it's a maple. My sugar?
That's it.
Bingo, you got it. The sugar maple.
No, that's a combination answer, so great job. Sugar maple tree, the official tree of the state of New York.
So thank you guys very much. And how about we water the tree? What do you say? All right.
have your attention, please?
Yeah.
Wonderful job, as Miss Marcotte just said about watering the tree. Now, as a special thank you, give each and every one of you a sapling to take home and for you to plant back at your home. I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Frank DeMarco to tell you how to take care of your sapling. Yes. You can ask who. So Superintendent DeMarco, I'm going to tell you how to take care of your tree, your sapling.
Hi everybody. Everybody's going to get one of these, right? So what you have to do when you get one is first decide where you're going to put it, right? Does everybody have a spot maybe at their home or garden, or you do? Now what do you need? What do you need with a plant?
Water and sun.
Water and sun, right? Perfect. Like these trees out here get a lot of sun. And it's very important that they grow in the sun, because the sun, it really feeds off the sun. And a lot of these trees, a lot of times you'll notice that it grows towards the sun most of the time. But that's what we first need. We first need sun. And then a nice open spot if you have one, but if you don't, you know, you could always transplant it later as it gets bigger. But what we do is we take them out. You find an area first like this, right? It's got a lot of sun. And you take it out of the cup, nice and easy. Let's see if I can coordinate. Hold that mic a second.
Sure.
And you just want to compact it a little bit, right, before you take it out. Because you want to try to keep the soil that's in here, because the soil that's in here has a lot of nutrients. And being that this plant, this tree is small right now, it's going to feed off these nutrients. You don't want to change anything right away. So what you want to do is try to get this out of the cup, right? Try to compact it first. Then do this over the hole that you're going to put the tree in. Then you want to do is put all this soil and tree in that hole, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take an area like this, and we're going to take a shovel and remove this grass. All right, is everybody so far? Okay. Grass out of here. What's going to be under this grass? Dirt. So it's going to look somewhat like this, right? So we'll take the grass out, then we make a little hole, no bigger than this time. Then we plant this tree in there. The bottom stem of the tree, which is this part right here, is going to stick out of the ground. And what we do is we make that hole, put it in that hole, and just pat it down, make it nice and firm. The only reason you want to make it nice and firm is so the tree doesn't look like it does right now, right? It looks like it's dying, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you just want to stand it straight up like that, and press the area around it, and as you press the area around it, the tree's going to stand up straight. Once the tree is up straight, you just compact it a little bit more. And what's the most important part after that? Water. You see all the water we put back there in that tree? The reason we put so much water, you don't need that much water, but the tree is new. When you got a new tree like that, it needs a lot of water. It's really thirsty because it's done a lot of work. Right? It's been through a lot, hasn't it? To be put in that ground. You soak it with water, and what I do most of the time is talk to it. Thank God it doesn't talk back. But what you do is you water it every day if you can, and it's going to start growing. You'll see it grow. But what you could do also is take a ruler and measure it, and every couple of months or even every year or so, make yourself a little memo or a note or a log and see how tall it's gotten every year. Right? Isn't that great? And you can say what? That you transplanted that tree into the ground. Yes?
We do that at my house.
Do you?
Yeah, we like every year we grow a little bit, and then our mom, she likes put a marker to see how far we've grown.
Oh, how far you've grown. Believe it or not, I still do that. But mine is getting shorter. You're right, though. You could do that with trees. Isn't that great? And monitor the tree every year. And you know, trees are like people. If they're sick or ill, they'll tell you. They'll start changing colors. Maybe the limbs will look a little like they're dying or just needs to be pruned a little bit. You have to monitor it, right? Yes.
My aunt, we found a little leaf and she put it into the ground and she said that it's going to turn into a tree one day.
It does do that. Certain trees you can't do that with. it's amazing what you could do with these trees. You know, especially this time of the year where you have the fall, you have a lot of seeds that fall off the tree. And you'll see little trees growing around that one particular tree. Maples are known for that also. Yes, we'll take one or two more, right?
My dad, he plants these trees, and they're like sort of like Christmas trees, but like not really. And when I was little, I used to say when they get really big, we'll use them as Christmas trees and we won't buy them. And then, so yeah, they didn't really grow much.
That's a great point. You know, I want to bring something up quick. There are two types of trees. You have evergreen trees and you have deciduous trees. The difference between the both is that this is an evergreen. It forever stays green. Deciduous trees, the leaves will fall in the fall, right? What tree do we use for Christmas time?
Pine tree.
Pine trees is an evergreen, right? It's green in the wintertime. Right? So even in the wintertime it stays green, but you'll notice the leaves falling in the falls on all the other trees. Right? How many more questions? Got time?
All right, couple more.
Couple more.
I have a tree a little bit like that at home.
Do you like it?
Yes.
You water it? You don't talk to it?
No.
Okay.
I have like this, like a lot of big trees, like humongous, and so when that little tree grows, will it like become like one of those?
This tree is very similar to that big tree behind us, where that flagpole is. This started like that. Yes. Okay. I think that's all the time we have. All right, so everybody knows how to plant these into the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn around right there. We're going to hand everybody one, and everybody knows what to do with it when they get home, right?
I have a bear tree.
Hey guys, can we take a picture? And I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say one more thing to everybody. We want to give a very special thank you to Mr. DeMarco. And I think you guys should all know, you guys are in school, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Mr. DeMarco goes to school. And you know what he goes to school for? Taking care of trees. So he's a student of trees, and as you can tell, he's a very well-educated student. And I'm glad that he was able to give you some of his wisdom on how to take care of trees. So we're going to take a picture, but before we do that, every year, I ask you guys, just before you leave, to yell as loud as you can those three very important words. Happy Arbor Day. So on the count of three, look at the camera, and you got to beat last year's grade, so you got to be extra loud.
And don't grab the camera.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Boy, we don't need to do that again. That was fantastic. Thank you all for coming, and thank you very much to you teachers.